Is love blind, or is love just manipulation? Edmond, the victim, is getting bashed, while the perpetrator, KB, is getting celebrated? Not on my watch. Let's talk about it. Hola, mi amigos. Welcome back to another episode of the best podcast on YouTube, The Black Man's Bible, the channel where the talk is so real, it's gospel. Today we're going to be getting to a good one. My timeline has been flooded for the past few weeks with memes and conversations surrounding the season of Love is Blind. So I sat through the entire season. I watched it myself. And I came away absolutely surprised at how much love KB was getting at the end of that season. And I was like, did I watch the same show or a different one? Now, let's be real. We keep it real on here. Edmond was no saint. Edmond had his faults. And I'm going to talk about Edmond towards the end of the video. But I want to stop the video and keep the focus where it needs to be on KB. The master manipulator. KB, first of all, let's start with this. She obviously did not go into that season with the right intentions. That woman had no intentions of playing the game Love is Blind. All she was there for was to find herself a black king. She was going to say yes to whatever black man was on the other side of that wall. And the second Edmond walked in, and it was obvious he was a brother. The second she could hear that brother's voice, that was it. Game over, KB. That was all she was interested in. That was all she came for. That was all she wanted. She was not open to anybody who was a better fit. Because I guarantee you there were other people who were a better fit for KB. But they were the wrong color. So from day one, she chose to ride or die with Edmond. We all saw the red flags. We all saw that the brother was a little bit different from the rest of us. Any man watching that show was cringy. I like, what the hell is wrong with this nigga? I felt it. You all felt it. We all felt it. But she ignored after red flag because she was hoping that at the end of that journey would be a black king standing proudly at the other side of that wall. And to be fair to Love is Blind, they have had some good-looking men. They have had some fine brothers on there. So I'm sure she was confident that if nothing else, there was going to be a 6-foot tall, rock-solid, 6-pack abs brother at the other end that she could call her own at the end of this journey. So she ignored every red flag. Every time that brother cried, she ignored it. Every time that brother acted out of his self, she ignored it. He shouted, he was giddy, he jumped all over the damn room, and she ignored it all. She was even flirting hard with Edmond in the pod, from a recollection of that show. They were talking, the conversation got hot and heavy at many points. At no point did this woman talk about her policy not to have sex until. She was sounding like she was ready to jump his bones right there in those pods. She was acting like she was ready to get it on. She was ready to clap cheeks right there. So that was the first level of deception that I noticed from the beloved KB. She did not come on that show for the right reason. Second of all, and this was the deal breaker right here, she clearly was not attracted to that brother. She spent the whole season lying and playing in that man's face. She thought he was some sexy chocolate man. She kept repeating the same lie to him and it was like she was trying to convince herself that she found him attractive. But anyone watching that show could tell this woman did not think that man he was not her type. Was he too skinny? Was he the way he dressed? Was he just his vibe? But there was clearly something off with the attraction levels. Oh, he was feeling her. Obviously, he was feeling her. That brother was about to risk it all for KB. But it was not mutual. She had no interest in giving up those cheeks. From the first time that door opened, cooch closed. Put up the sign right there. Cooch closed. Not serving cooch today. So whatever that man did, it was over at that point. And brothers, do you know the worst thing that can happen to a man? Do you know the most difficult situation to overcome is when a woman doesn't want your D? No woman is more disrespectful on the face of the earth than a woman who doesn't want your D. And that is gospel. That is truth. A woman will put up with all kinds of BS just to get some D at the end of the night. You can be disrespectful and rude on some level. She will be mad at you, but she will not be so mad as to turn you off to where you are not willing to supply the D at the end of that night. But the second she doesn't find you attractive, the second she looks at you and like, not this, bro, she will call you out your name. She will disrespect you to the moon and back. And that's what happened to our boy Edmond. He spent that entire season being disrespected, being talked over, being shouted at, being made to feel. She was gaslighting more than General Electric. I was so frustrated watching this season. I was like, what is going on with the sister? Come on, sister. You chose the brother. You spent 10 days getting to know the man, and you said yes, you chose this man. Now you're acting like even the way he breathes makes you mad. That guy was getting on her skin. You could tell that she was holding back. But she had to play the game. She had to lie for the cameras. Oh, you were so sexy. Oh my God, that's what she was. It was hard to watch, my brothers. It was hard to watch. And then, of course, comes the weddings. Look, listen. We all knew she was going to say no. It was no secret. Why play in that man's face and make him show up at those weddings for one final stake, one final dagger right through his heart? Another opportunity to embarrass him in front of the whole world. Another opportunity to make him look like a fool in front of the whole world. What's that other girl, Sparkle, Megan? I respected her because she didn't make that man go to the altar. She sat him down at the crib like, bro, don't waste your time. Do not get yourself dressed up. Do not bring your family out here because this isn't going to work. KB would have done the exact same. She could have done the exact same. You didn't have to take that man out there. You didn't have to do this brother like this. Knowing how emotional that man is. Knowing how much that guy holds inside of him. Now you're going to make him cry right in front of. That was low blow, KB. That was low. Admit it. You were wrong. Damn. No, KB, throughout that whole season, was really working my nerve. I thought she was toxic. I thought she was belligerent. I thought she was constantly putting that man down. She was constantly finding reasons to be angry and complain. That man couldn't say 2 words without making her mad. That guy couldn't have a conversation with his friends. Oh, you said this to this guy. You told them this. You said this. I'm like, girl, get that. So I'm glad that guy escaped that. The worst case scenario for this brother had she said yes, and had they gone on to be married, it would have been a train wreck and a disaster. So in some ways, Edmond, she spared you. She saved you. Be grateful that you were saved. And maybe you can find someone who, but you know what? I cannot. Edmond, I got to talk to you too, bro. You were acting a damn fool on that season. You were acting a damn fool on that entire season. You were a grown-ass man dressed up as some Steve Urkel, pick in your hair. You were a grown-ass man hiding in some fucking cabinets, my brother. I was cringing that entire episode. This man got into some cabinets, and then he cried that he wasn't getting no coochie. Did you hear me? This man cried that he wasn't getting no coochie. And this wasn't like premium coochie. This was social worker coochie. This is not top 10 coochies in the professional levels. This wasn't some medical coochie. It wasn't like some doctor or an NP or an RN coochie. Because, brothers, we know that the medical coochie is top notch. And then right below that is like teacher coochie. So I'm getting distracted and I apologize. This is not that episode. There'll be another episode to discuss those things. Let me stay focused. Edmond, you got to do better. Or you just got to find someone who's more your speed, who's more in tune with you, who's more into your energy. And I wish you nothing but the best. Wish you nothing but happiness. KB, I wish you well too, girl. But you were working every nerve in my body this season, man. Every nerve. Thank you all as always for checking in and watching the Black Man's Bible. This is the channel, as you know, where the truth is so real, it's gospel. Episodes dropping regularly every week. We're going to keep it coming. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it funny. We're going to keep it entertaining. And we're going to keep whooping your asses out there until you all get in shape. It's the Black Man's Bible. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment.